Mayor, Commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Board of Commissioners is back in session, meeting with us. Right now we have the Senior Activity Center. Would you please introduce yourselves? And we're talking budgets.
Yes, my name is Anita Valadola, and I'm the director of the Senior Activity Center.
And I'm Kathleen Stevens. I'm on the board for the Senior Activity Center. And I work there as a volunteer, and I love it.
Commissioners, I sent out supporting documents of our finances and a synopsis of our nutrition program and how we're funded, so I won't be redundant. I just want to ask, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I'll just tell you what we're telling everybody that comes in front of us for
Sure.
budget, and that's basically, this includes the departments. We've had, I think all of our departments have come in, and we tell everybody the same thing. One of the biggest concerns we have is the property taxes for our residents, and property taxes are driven by spending. And so what we're telling everyone that comes in front of us, we want to keep spending flat.
Sure.
And so we want people to look at their budgets, and if they need additional funding for one thing or another, try to find ways they can move money from one place to another, try to find additional grants. I don't know if this is applicable to you guys, but in our county, we have training that gets, a lot of training that gets done. And to some degree, we can actually have people in-house who have the skills to do the training for our own people rather than hire outside firms. So we're looking at different types of innovative ways that we can stretch the dollars further. And
Sure.
so just to let you guys know about that.
Okay. Well, you're in luck because I'm not going to ask for more money. I'm just thankful for the supporting partnership. I want to give my gratitude for the county for allocating funds to the center every year. I want to thank you for our continued partnership. Your contribution helps us keep the doors open. And I just want to emphasize, not only are we serving meals, but the senior center is a place for seniors to gather, and the socialization that takes place there is crucial. The health risks of social isolation and loneliness, among other issues, is detrimental to one's health. And it makes me very proud that Bannock County allocates funds to the senior center. Our seniors, my favorite saying is, our seniors have paved the way for us in life, and so let's take care of them. They deserve it.
Commissioner Huff?
No, I appreciate all you guys do. You guys do a fantastic job, and one of the highlights of my year is coming over for Thanksgiving and serving. I just enjoy that
And we love
immensely.
it. We love it. We love it when you come over. Commissioner Moser, do you have any questions?
Well, I was going to ask Commissioner Huff. There was a program that you went in and watched last time, and did you give a TV to?
Yeah.
And I just kind of curious how that program is going. If you
Oh, that was not the Alzheimer's, it was the Parkinson's.
Yes,
boxing.
the Parkinson's, yes. It's
Yeah.
the Parkinson's program is going well. The more visible and more awareness it brings to the community, the more participants we're getting. So it's going great. And we, as Commissioner Crowder says, you would like us to be innovative as far as partnerships within the community. We reach out to all of our partners in the community, and our most recent partner is the FBI. They're going to come in and help us do some
Teaching.
in case there's, I hate to say this on the record, but in case there's a shooter, and so there's Commissioner Crowder, do you remember?
Safety.
What, run, hide, and that's the motto.
Run, hide, fight.
Yes, yes. So we're reaching out at all levels.
And that's it. For the record, I just want some of these things. I mean, usually when we come in, we talk about the meals.
Sure.
And stuff, and they're great.
Yes, they're great.
But there's so much more, like you just
Oh,
said.
yes.
There's so much more to that organization
Yeah.
than that. And people get lonely.
They do, they
And
do.
it's a gathering place for those that need somebody in their lives, because some of them don't have families and stuff around.
You
and so
bet.
thank you for having that available. And I'll just tell you, like we tell everybody, we take everybody's asks,
Sure.
and then as we go through the budget, we look at it, and I don't see us cutting, but we have to evaluate, just like John just said.
Sure,
We look at every dollar and
sure.
make sure that things are good, but I wouldn't anticipate any problems with where we're at there.
One component I do want to say that we've done in the last year is we've partnered with New Knowledge Adventures. So we've brought in an education component to seniors' lives. And Kathleen is part of that New Knowledge Adventures. And so those participants are 50 and older. And so, and I believe all of us are over 50 years old here in this room. And so, almost? Okay. And so, if you're 50 and older, you're considered a senior citizen. If you're 65 and older, you're considered a senior citizen to Social Security. But the education point of bringing that into the seniors' lives has been tremendous. And go ahead, Kathleen.
Well, what we're trying to do is bring them together. It was all fractured. And by bringing NKA into the Senior Activity Center, we filled every room. And they're coming now to have some lunches. And so they're discovering all these almost 500 that we have with New Knowledge Adventure are discovering how the camaraderie together is a good thing. Continued learning is never a bad thing. So very important to reach out to each other, and that's our mission always. When we go in there, we love each other, get to know each other, listen to each other, and the education has been a nice part on getting to be together. So when we get our new building, then it'll all be under one roof. It'll be wonderful, and that's what we're shooting for, and I think that's what we're going to get. And when we do it ourselves, that's okay, isn't it? You know, that's all right, but we'll make it happen because these people are just precious, and so we're doing all we can.
Thank you, Kathleen. The reason why we brought up New Knowledge Adventures is because those are going to be the seniors in 20 years, in 10 years. We're going to be 60 and 70 years old, and so we want to cater to that.
Some of us are already there.
We are. We're up and over.
Well, I'm glad to see you partnering with NKA. That's a great group and a
It
great
is.
organization, and that's very critical to ongoing mental health.
It is very crucial.
So,
And what's really nice about partnering with MKA is we've provided a place of inclusiveness. And so we've got seniors at a lower income and a middle income and higher income. And the only thing that brings them all together is age. And so that's really crucial here in Pocatello. And we're the only place in the area that provides those kind of services.
In the whole country.
how are you
There isn't.
coming with a new building?
Well, you know,
That's a secret. What do you ask?
how are we coming with the new
Nothing. I
building?
didn't say a word.
We don't want to lose our.
It's coming. I mean, we're still
Yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, it's an ongoing process. However, my board is the
We'll let you know.
final decision makers. But we don't want to lose our partnership with the city because
You can't.
though your financial stability is about 7.8% towards our percent of income. We appreciate it, and the city's a little bit more. Though we have that building for $1 a year, we don't want to lose that partnership, and so we're working on innovative partnerships.
Okay.
Yeah, our budgets doesn't range. It ranges anywhere over 250 to 300K every year. It ranges up and down the last 5 years, and so we have to keep our expenses low, and so we can't afford to actually go out and buy a brand new building.
Right.
So, but we'll take any ideas or any.
Some donations.
I just know if you got NKA over there, you guys are bursting at the seams.
We are bursting at the seams. In fact, parking, we're having an issue with parking, and so we're going in front of the city in June.
They did approve it, I thought.
No, we have to go and talk to them. The city they're open to ideas to taking the lawn area in front of the building on the west side to parking, because we are busting at the seams with NKA. But it's a great partnership.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments?
No more questions. I would just say to anybody that's watching on the video, if you're a senior, come check out the senior center. As these guys are saying there, and we haven't even scratched the surface. There's so much going on there. Definitely worth checking out. And so I hope any senior that happens to watch this video, if you haven't been down there, go see what they're doing. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
You bet. All right, Downey American Legion. How you doing?
Good morning.
Yep. Nice to be back here.
Please introduce yourselves.
It's the southern end of Bannock County, Swan Lake. So.
Hey, we was down there this last week.
Yes, we were.
Well, it's a big day today. Well, they had a grand opening of that store. Oh,
How did that go?
Did you go down? No, didn't make it.
I wish I could have.
no, that gal's doing amazing things. I can't believe it. Yeah.
It looked good. We stopped there on Thursday. No, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And they was excited about the grand opening and
Yeah.
events. So
Oh, no, it's, yeah, Downey's closing down, Swan Lake is going up, so that's,
there you go. I'll have to tell that to the mayor.
Yeah.
Believe me.
old sexy Rexy.
Yeah, exactly. Please introduce yourselves on the record.
I'm Thor Gunderson, and I'm the new commander of the Downey Post 21. And this is Steve Smith, and obviously you must know him. And he's the outgoing commander of Downey Post 21.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what's the funds and what's going on.
Our budget, our expenditures for last year was $7,547. And do you want to break down on what that was spent on, or is,
No, that's fine.
okay? And I'm not sure what you need to know on that, but we sent a copy in.
Yeah, they go.
And
And then I guess what we're doing.
yeah, tell us a little bit about what's
All right.
going on.
We have 41 members down there. A little over half of them are rather old and don't have the opportunity to participate because of their age. So with the limited number of people that we have, I think we do quite a bit. We assist the VA. You know Melissa over at the VA Center.
Oh, yes.
She started an outreach program in South County, and it's based out of the libraries in Downey and in McCammon. And we assist her by setting up a schedule for her of veterans in the area. And then we're there with her when she comes down. And it'll either be me or one of the officers of our post. And we'll usher the people in, we'll have a schedule for her, we'll call her ahead of time and let her know about how many people are coming. That's a good program. She's there for 2 hours. She does Downey on the second Wednesday of the month and McCammon on the fourth Wednesday of the month. And we keep her pretty full, and they're seeing a lot of results. It takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes on their first visit. Follow-up visits are 20 to 25 minutes. And a lot of people are getting helped. And it's not slackening. It's, we were afraid that would happen, and it's not. So that's a real good thing.
Well, her willingness to come down there, it didn't matter what the road conditions were.
Oh,
She comes in
Sometimes
the
it wasn't
snow.
the best roads. She went down there and she
yep.
was pretty proud of her.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people, because there's a lot of new things happening in the VA. We're transporting veterans to the VA hospital in Pocatello, also down to Salt Lake City. We do that on our own. And we pay for the gas. A lot of times we have VA members that our members need to go, so we'll hitch a ride, or we'll let people hitch ride with us. If not, we just go ahead and take them. We just consider that part of the things that we should do. And it sometimes happens pretty often. It depends on just how the flow is going. Provide information to veterans in the area on things that the Legion can do for them, as far as benefits for them, because we have our brochures and our information. And there's a lot of things that we can do in concert with the VA, and we make sure that they get that information and those benefits. We have a wood and snow brigade, and we have widowers, and especially of veterans. And it doesn't really matter down there in that little place. When winter's approaching, we cut wood. We get big truckloads of wood of trees, and then we just all go cut it. Everybody brings train saws, and then we cut it, split it, stack it for the widows, and then so make sure they have enough wood. And in the wintertime, when the snow falls, especially in the rural areas, we have members who have plows on their trucks, and we have one that has a front end loader, and we make sure that their driveways are plowed. And in the rural areas, some of those driveways are very long. And then we have, do you know Lonnie Jones? I think everybody, well, down there, everybody knows him. But anyway, we have a couple guys we call, they go on patrol every morning, have their coffee and get away from their wives, and they go around and they check on all these people. And that's it. We conduct military funerals. We have 9 cemeteries that we do, and that keeps us pretty busy. And on the holidays, we have 5 of those cemeteries that we place flags on, and then we collect them. And this weekend was really busy, because of the Memorial Day, but we just did a cemetery for a suicide of a man that just got out of the military, and he probably shouldn't have got out. He probably would have been okay if he stayed in the military. He just couldn't assimilate back into civilian life there. Memorial Days, we do 5 cemeteries that we shoot over, and then we do the ceremony down at Downey at the Memorial Park in concert with the DMV, or the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, and the MIA guys and the motorcycle riders. And that draws a lot of people, and that's a really good ceremony if you've never seen it. And we also have a ramp. We have a mobile ramp for wheelchairs, and if somebody needs that, and we use that for veterans, but if somebody winds up having to be in a wheelchair and they're not a veteran, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows everybody in South County, so we'll roll it over there until they can get one built for them. And that pretty much stays in use. On the subject of wheelchairs, we've discovered that Veterans Mobility is an outfit that helps supply wheelchairs to veterans, and you can get those at no cost. And we've been utilizing them to get wheelchairs for veterans down there, and they're looking for people to do this. And their goal is not only to get wheelchairs for veterans, but to get wheelchairs in every single care center. And they'll need an organization to take charge of that, and we're that for South County. And they're virtually brand new. They're free. They'll deliver them. They don't want gas money or anything, and they're not hard to set up. And so we're doing that. And you got to have 2 types of wheelchairs. You can't throw somebody in a wheelchair, electric wheelchair, and they're all electric. The they start off on a smaller inside wheelchair and learn how to drive them. And then, once they conquer that, they go into a bigger outside wheelchair that's more powerful. If you didn't do it that way, they'd rip the walls up in the care centers.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that, and we're going to get one. We're going to get wheelchairs in all the care centers around here, and it may take a while, but we're doing that. Along with that, we've had problems with care centers, and the problem was, and we just fixed this problem. And this document right here is the fix. There's a problem with veterans in care centers and getting the care centers paid. And it's been a problem, and they didn't know how to fix it. And it was disguised. And the reason it was disguised is because when a veteran goes to a care center, a lot of times, and they check in, the care center doesn't get paid totally. And then if he checks out, because then they'll want to get rid of him, and then send him to another care center, and then he gets sent to another care center. They'll get a partial payment, and that's a bad thing for two reasons. One, it's a partial payment. Two, it disguises, because it shows Social Security that there's a partial payment going, or there is a payment going. And so you could see how that's a really bad deal for the veteran. It's a really bad deal for our care centers. And I don't know why it hasn't been fixed. And so we got into it because one of our veterans, one of our post members, a paralyzed veteran, who we got a wheelchair for, he started all the wheelchair stuff we got after him, we wanted it solved. And so we spent 6 days straight with Social Security in these places, and we got it. And it all dealt with the check-in, check-out, the codes, and the documents, that they're these documents. And now they're going to change it in the system in Social Security. And Idaho emissions and the service agreements are going to be changed a little. And it's going to solve that problem. Whispering Pines is going to get $7,800. Monte Vista is going to get, I don't know, I'll know tomorrow or the next day how much money they're going to get. And then I think, Eastwood's going to get quite a sum of money too. But we got that, our post got that fixed. And that was quite a task. And I think it was just because no one really wanted or wanted to take the time to get that done. But it's done now. Well, actually, in about 2 days, it'll be finalized.
Well, it's pretty amazing, all the things that you've shared with us, and for under $8,000, we give you a contribution of $2,500. Is that what you're asking for again this year?
You bet.
Yeah, we got more stuff.
Okay, well, you're getting to the end of your time
Have
here.
more time.
But we keep everybody, I keep my schedule pretty close, so.
Right.
I was wondering if the commissioners had questions for you.
You said you serve about 41 people down there, is that correct?
We have
Right.
41 people in our unit. Mhm.
When are your meetings and where do you hold them?
What's that?
So when are your meetings?
It's on the first Wednesday of every month. And we have a dinner there, volunteer every time. And I didn't think it'd last, but it lasts. It keeps on going, so.
And they have a hall down there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we got a,
American Legion Hall.
you bet.
We got a little museum, and we just did one of our bathrooms. So it's,
And we let anybody organizations come in, we just charge them $25 to rent it, unless they keep it dirty, and then we get them, but most people take care of it real nice too, so. Or no, it's
And then during the Bannock County Fair, you have the dinner.
dinner in the beer booth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's been a big revenue deal for us too.
it's the Mormon beer booth. I run it. I'm Mormon. I put all Mormons in there and our profits have gone up. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
No, then we do the baseball, intercollegiate baseball. This year, I don't know, there's something going on. I don't know what will happen. No, you probably know old Hal there.
Can't.
But we've been giving them, $600-700 every year to.
And
We do a scholarship.
Jared Bowman's running the ball team this year.
Oh, is that what happened?
I believe so.
Because all at once we were told they might not even have one. And
I
then we're still planning on.
saw that there's having parent meetings and tryouts, so.
Well, good. No, that's a good program right there. Yeah, we used to do the boys' state, but then nobody wanted to do boys' state, so we figured we'd give it at least that much money to baseball because we were supporting 12 kids, and anyway, we'll see what happens. So,
Okay. Is there anything in particular you'd like to share with us?
I want to thank you for the money you gave us last year.
And you heard my spiel. I don't see us going lower.
Right.
We always look at our budgets and go from there. And then you heard John's comments that we always look for any avenue that we can save taxpayer dollars.
sure.
We all share in that burden, so.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, you got a lot of weeds to take care of this year.
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a long summer, or long winter.
Yeah.
We used a lot of fuel dollars this year.
No, I bet.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, guys. Yep.
Thank you for your time. This was a lot easier than I feared.
Oh, we're not that tough. Tara?
Go ahead.
I have some papers. I don't know if you want me to pass those out.
And that's fine. You can
No.
look at them. We'll just need a copy for the record.
This is the original. And I'll just keep one for me.
What page is CASA on? I couldn't find it.
It is on page 11.
Thank you.
Oh, I did find it. I just hadn't put my marker on it. I thought I had, and that's why I'm confused. Welcome. Please
Hello.
introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Tara Contreras. I'm the executive director at the 6th Judicial District CASA here, just 2 blocks up the street. And I've met with some of you before. The last 2 years I've been to your budget hearings, and I was with PRT, and I was employed at CCOG, but I did all the education and outreach and social media for Pocatello Regional Transit. So I'm a little familiar with coming before you.
Okay. And your ask?
25,000, I think that's what has been done in the previous years.
Previous year. Okay.
On the second page, so are all of you familiar with CASA? Do you know who we are? And court-appointed special advocates. We represent children in foster care in the court system. Well, not represent, we try to advocate for their interests. And so our service on the second page, by having those court-appointed special advocates, we saved the county $558,000. Just Bannock County, and we are all through the whole 6 counties.
Uh-huh.
How many children do you serve a year?
Right, it's around 350 is where we're kind of averaging.
And have you seen an uptick in that since COVID, the last couple of years?
Actually, there was a downtick with COVID, and mostly it's because we didn't have kids in schools,
Right.
people that are reporting. So it doesn't necessarily mean that less children needed.
No, everybody just scattered.
Yeah, it was
away.
that, there weren't eyes on things. And so we have seen those numbers kind of start to go back up now that kids are back in school and back in sports, and because those are our reporters, or a lot of teachers, counselors, those types of things. We definitely are seeing numbers going up with the opioid situation and the drug situation. Even before I came to CASA, I've been very involved with, I was a licensed foster parent for many years. I've adopted through foster care. My folks have adopted 9 foster kids. And I'm new to CASA. I came in March. I took this position, but I've been very passionate about our kids in foster care through the other avenues that I participated in. And the thing right now, I remember when I was I used to teach the foster parent training classes and was a mentor. People don't realize, like, each time you see, and I think we get desensitized to it, but each time as you're scrolling social media or looking through the paper and there's somebody got arrested for drugs, or there was a car that got pulled over and they found all this paraphernalia. People read that, but what they don't read is there were 3 to 5 kids taken into care that night. And because that's not part of that. And so because of our drug crisis, that's where we're seeing a lot of our numbers.
Which that's scary.
It is scary. But I try to talk, I want to also share, I know sometimes a lot of people think that the foster care system and our court, we do have some very, very, very ugly situations, but it's also a good system because it's in place to provide support and help for families that may not be able to get it otherwise. And then through that support and then that CASA advocacy, that these kids sometimes are able to get the resources and families are able to build up supports, and they are able to move out of the system and live very productive lives. I wish that those numbers were higher, but it does happen. A lot of times we just think about the kids that come into care and then parents' rights are terminated, and an adoption, which is also a very beautiful thing. We had an adoption just this last week, but I also try to focus on that system isn't just for that, it's for building up our families and supporting them. And our CASA workers are able to help participate in that because they know the resources that are out there and they can help provide those things they have the time to do that, versus the department's very, very busy. So our volunteers are very passionate about the work they do and helping these families and these kids. And we are very grateful for your help in doing that.
Well, and that's with all the youth groups that come in and ask for different things. We're pretty kind, honestly, in a lot of different areas, and we don't want it to get to this point.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
So, comments,
No.
John? Yeah, you heard my spiel. Is we go over the budget.
Yes.
We go dollar by dollar, line by line, but I wouldn't anticipate a difference from last year.
Great. Well, and if you have any questions, I'm available. Love for you to come over and see what we do too, anytime throughout the year, not just now, but
We'll have to do that.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, that
Thank
was
you.
very easy. Thank you.
How y'all today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Shut. Bothered me. Door's not.
Sorry about that.
Come on. No, it's been that way for a bit. Come on up.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Go ahead and introduce yourselves, and
Thank you for
it's not your first rodeo, so
not our first rodeo. We're excited to be here with all of you. Start us off, Kelly.
Kelly Martinez, Outreach Manager for Health West.
Melissa Myers, the Grants Management and Special Programs Manager. And Mindy Benedetti, I'm the CEO for Health West. Yeah.
let's
Thank
just
you.
go through it.
Go through the information we have, and if you have questions, feel free to ask as we go along. So Health West, we're privately owned and operated. We're a nonprofit that's based here in Pocatello. We're also a federally qualified community health center, so we receive federal grants in order to give discounts to our patients, and it's a certification that we receive from the federal government in order to have that FQHC status. So quite a bit of scrutiny comes with that and oversight as well. We have 12 different clinics and 10 different school-based sites throughout Southeast Idaho. And our mission, Kelly.
It's empowering our patients and communities by proactively providing quality, affordable, patient-centered health care.
And quite a wide range of services. We have primary care, similar to most private practices. We have OBGYN care, we have a pediatrician, we have dental, behavioral health, pharmacy, telehealth, urgent care, as well as you can see the wide range of services that we're offering. One of the ones I want to highlight is substance use disorder treatment. We've seen, especially since COVID, a significant increase in the need in our community for those services. We have medication-assisted therapy programs as well, and so the 340B program as well as the prescription assistant program. So if patients aren't able to afford their medications, we have programs to assist them with that as well. And one of our newer partnerships that we're very excited about is a partnership with School District 25. We have counselors in 10 of their schools, and we're hoping to be able to grow this program in the future. And we've been able to do some incredible work. So with suicide prevention, or when children are displaced out of a home, being able to do counseling with them right through the school system, which has been, the school district would love to have a counselor in every school. We're having a hard time with recruitment for behavioral health staff otherwise. Yep, we would be able to do more, but incredible work being done with that program. Specifically for Bannock.
So along that line, I mean, that's School District 25, but you have, are you trying to venture out into all these other communities and counties, and what's
Right now, the
goal?
focus has been on School District 25. We started a grant with Blue Cross to start that program, and so it's actually a pilot for other community health centers across the nation. So that grant funding has helped us be able to start that program. We'd love to get it into other schools. Recruitment is our biggest struggle at this point.
Yeah. I'm 21, that's all. You know.
Yep. I know. I know. We would love to have it, especially in the rural communities. I think there's even much more of a need and limited access, and so it's nice to.
The Bear Lake area here a year ago was a crisis area. So.
Yeah.
So just going down that path a little bit, what would it take to move down south a little bit and do some of that, do some of this school outreach down there?
Mm-hmm. So we've been sustainable with all of those positions, meaning that they financially pay for themselves to have the counselor in the school just because of the high rate of Medicaid. So that's the good news. The bad news is we can post for a counselor for those schools, and there's just not counselors in the area. We tend to steal from each other, so we need more counselors. We need to grow those
That's more of a
programs.
holdup than anything then?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, great questions. Any other questions so far? All right, so Melissa was great. She put some Bannock County data together for you so you can see who we serve within Bannock County. Sure.
Yeah, so just really, what we really like to focus on are these are some of our target populations that we really reach out and try and assist with rural patients, low-income patients, Medicaid, Medicare, uninsured, agricultural, homeless, and veterans. So just to kind of give you a comparison in what our service area is, which covers all of southeast Idaho, but in comparison to Bannock County, of those populations, we serve 16,500, but within Bannock County, those make up about 14,300 of our patients. For low income, we serve in Bannock County about 3,800 patients. Our Medicaid population makes up about 5,100 patients. Our Medicare is 1,259. Our uninsured is about 1,890. Agriculture is 494. And homeless, we have seen a large increase this year of 743 patients in Bannock County, as well as our veterans have expanded this year at 438. And that is just within Bannock County alone. So I just want to kind of give you a comparison what our service area is in compared to what we serve within Bannock County area with all of our clinics.
Thank you.
So.
The next page really highlights our patient-payer mix. You can see the mix of private insurance versus, meaning Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Pacific Source. And a lot of those patients have high deductibles. Sometimes we see them as high as $12,000. So even though they have insurance, it doesn't mean that they have proper access to care. We still slide or give discounts on quite a few visits for those individuals. Medicare, Medicaid, so there's quite a few providers who cannot afford to take Medicaid or Medicare patients because of the low reimbursement. So as federally qualified health centers, we like to put an emphasis on making sure that we are able to take those populations. And then we're still seeing a pretty high rate of uninsured patients in our clinics as well, or that self-pay category. And the sliding fee is how we give discounts on our services at Health West. And last year, we did just under $1.8 million in sliding fee adjustments for patients. And all of the slides are based upon family and income size. So you can kind of see the breakdown of how that works. Well, it's just under just over $800,000 in medication discounts. Then we have some specific data for the funding that we've received from Bannock County, which our patients and organization is very grateful for. You can see the number of visits. We did see a slight decrease in 2020 because of Medicaid expansion. But overall, we still have a surplus of demand for the funding that we receive. We use the special services fund so we have a $20 nominal fee at Health West, and we use the special services funds to waive that $20 for patients who cannot afford it. So overall, over $100,000 in care was offered for the $10,000 that we received. And then we also receive prenatal funding, which helps support our OBGYN and prenatal services. It also helps the residency program receive training for OBGYN. You can see the number of OB visits for Bannock County and the number of OB patients that receive care. Well, as all of our community partners, we recognize we can't do this work alone, that we really need strong partners in order to have strong communities. Kelly and his team work very closely with all of these partners. Also exciting news, Health West, there was a health center that was no longer able to stay in business. That is in Idaho, Utah, and Wyoming, and they approached Health West about continuing those services, and our board agreed to that, so we're expanding. And we long-term anticipate that this will be financially beneficial for our organization, so in about 3 years. So, great investment. We also have some data that is done by Community Link that shows the economic impact of Health West. So the number of jobs, indirect jobs that are created, savings to the healthcare system, tax revenue. I'm sure you all know much more about than we do. And yeah, our costs at Health West have increased significantly, as I'm sure most programs have. The cost of medical supplies, as well as the number of participants that we're serving. We haven't had an increase in funding, so we were hoping to have $50,000 still to support the OBGYN program, but an increase of $10,000 for the special services program from Bannock County.
So your ask this year
Yep.
is 10,000 more than last year.
Correct.
Okay. I don't know if he was in here when I talked to the others. Well, I'm gonna let John give his speech first.
So, every group that's come in front of us, we've told them that, the biggest concern we hear all the time from the residents of Bannock County is their property taxes. And property taxes are driven by spending, and we hear that consistently and constantly. So what we have done with every group that's come in front of us, including every department head, is we've asked them to keep their spending flat. And to the extent that they need something for one program, to look at other programs, maybe they're involved with it, they can transfer funds, look for increased grants opportunities, find innovative ways. And I'll give you an example. In our county, we have a lot of training that gets done, but it turns out we have a lot of people that are very experienced and capable of doing training in-house, rather than going outside to hire an outside firm to come in. So that's a way we can potentially save some money and so on. So we're asking everyone that comes in front of us to do the same thing, to figure out ways to keep the budget flat, so that we can not increase the property tax burden on the county residents.
Okay.
So the increase was specifically targeted for which program?
The special services program.
And tell me again, just real briefly, what all that entails.
Yep, it allows us to, so there's a nominal fee for services at Health West. We're able to leverage grant funding at the federal level to do a discount, but there's a nominal fee that's required, and there's a lot of individuals who are not able to afford that nominal fee. So the school program, for example, if there's kids that come in and their parents can't afford the $20 nominal fee, then we're able to waive it through this program.
And one of the areas I'm interested in is trying to increase the mental health help to the kids in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to do this, could we specify those funds to go that way so you could shift funds around somewhere else? But would that be
Absolutely.
a possibility?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sure you're probably seeing the need, just like we are, across the board. It's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple years ago, I went to all the high schools and talked to the leadership groups, and that was one of the things that they all said they wanted was more access to mental health services. And I've only seen the problems get worse since then, and so that's why I'm just being curious about that. And that's why I was very curious about being able to go down south and help some of those guys. But if it's a personnel issue, that's a different story. But
It's a different world they're growing up in these days, that's for sure. No different than when I was a kid, for sure. I said it before I talked to my daughter about it. I don't know if I want to grow up. Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the mindset for it to be tough enough. These kids got to be, it's just so crazy fast.
Well, when there's one counselor for the whole district,
yeah.
I mean, they can't cover.
Yeah.
And we've gone into grade schools now. I mean, that's plain and simple. It starts a whole lot earlier than it used to. So, but we thank you for your presentation. We appreciate all the help and the clinics throughout the area. But we look at every dollar and
We appreciate that as
we go through the system, and we're just getting started with our asks. So, no promises.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions or.
Where did you hear last year, Tim?
I was.
You was, yeah. You got, seriously? Where do you find shirts?
I make them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
During COVID, when you moved into your new building, though,
Good, good. How are you guys?
Uh-huh.
and you were gonna have an open house, did you ever have one?
We never did have an open house, so that facility, all the counselors there are full. There's about 150 that are on a wait list right now, and so, yeah, we tabled the.
And that's what I thought. I mean,
But we would love for you
we
to
talked
come
about
tour.
coming over and looking
Uh-huh.
and stuff, and we never did, that I remembered. I just, no, that was during COVID, and we kind of canceled things, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll drop by,
No, we would love to have you anytime.
see what's going on.
Yep, yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You just reach out to me anytime if you want to take a tour. Pediatrics and OBE and all that, it's so awesome down there, and superhero themed and all that. I mean, that's the other thing is, what I'm finding out on the outreach side is there's still a lot of, folks in our community who are like, you have OB services, you have pediatrics? I was like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And all of our services are available on a sliding scale. Wow. And so we just did a health fair with United Way at Caldwell Park, and had a few families come through. It was a family that actually came in last week. They had made an appointment, and it was perfect for them. The husband had PTSD, and so he found a counselor that would be able to help him out.
Wow.
And so he's having a tough time with his job. He works from home part-time. The mom is the only one who wasn't covered. And their kid goes to primary children's, has some special care that this child receives every month.
Wow.
So it was like a perfect family for us. It's like exactly, when I'm able to reach out and help a family like that or talk to them and know that Health West is there for them, and that makes it all worth it, and that's the mission, and so it's pretty cool. So
Good.
anytime you want to stop by, let me know.
Okay. Down in Lava, pretty busy
Well, for lava,
for Lava.
very needed though. Yep, in these rural communities, I think there's no other healthcare provider, so.
All right, thank you very much.
Hey,
thank y'all.
Yes, thank you.
Have a great day.
Go ahead and put